Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Churchill Downs here on Friday. It is May the 4th, 2018. It's Kentucky Oaks Day, and I'm going to look at all the stakes races on today's program, including the Kentucky Oaks. But before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and join me tomorrow here for my Kentucky Derby preview video. That should be up soon, and it's going to be a very fun video. I've started writing up my analysis of the race, and it's going to be a very fun race to look at for YouTube. So go check that out. That should be up hopefully very soon. But today's card from Churchill is a very good card. It's always a good Oaks. The Oaks Day always has great races, and I'm going to look at all the stakes races. Those races are races 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, and 11. So races 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, and the featured 11th race, which is the Kentucky Oaks. So let's get on to it, starting off with race number 5 from Churchill. The 5th race, it's the 63rd running of the 8 Bells, presented by Kentucky Trailer. It's a Grade 2 race going for a purse of $200,000. It's for fillies of 3-year-olds here. Field of 7 horses going the distance of ground of 1,400 meters. That's for our international viewers, or the distance of ground of 7 furlongs on the Churchill main track. And I show the diagram. It just gives me a second to look down at my notes. Just bear with me. Sorry, I'm stupid. I can't do two things at the same time. My top selection in this race, I like the one horse, Amy's Challenge. I'm going to go 1653 in the superfecta. 1653 super. That's basically my top 4. Top selection here, the one horse, Amy's Challenge. 3-year-old filly by Artie Schiller. McLean Robertson trains this one. Kerry Stevens gets the leg up on this one. I think coming here, going the 7 furlong trip is right up this horse's alley. This horse, looking at her running style, says sprinter. Good thing they'd run this horse in the Oaks. But this horse's most recent outing came on the 13th of April at Oaklawn. Fast but sealed, going a mile and 1/16 in the Grade 3 Fantasy. Horse finished third by 2 1/4 lengths that day. Set the pace and opened up by a lot early on. And then she just hit the wall. Weakened out of it. Mile 16th was just a little bit too far for her. 7 furlong today, up this horse's alley. Cannot stress that enough. Before that 10th of March at Oaklawn, mile 16th in the Grade 3 Honeybee. Horse finished second by 1 3/4 lengths that day. Again, opened up by a bunch early on and then just hit the wall. The closer got to this horse that day. And then before that, Oaklawn, 6 furlongs in Dixie Belle. Last time this horse went sprinting, this horse won by a neck. Didn't have the best of starts and was dueling a little bit, but, just got out there in the end. Very nice victory for this horse off the layoff. Before that, was running at Canterbury Park in Minnesota. 6 furlongs in a juvenile race for $80,000. Horse won by 3/4 length. Best horse on paper. She won easily. I think here today, sprinting, this horse should really run well. Has been training well. 5-2, not the best price, but I think we're gonna have to take it. Gary Stevens up, the veteran rider. Watch out. So to recap my bets for the 5th from Churchill, it's the Grade 2, 63rd running of the 8 Bells. Gonna go with the one horse, Amy's Challenge. Gonna go 1653 in the superfecta. So now let's get on to race number 6 from Churchill. The 6th race, it's the 33rd running of the La Triogne. It's presented by TwinSpires.com. It's Grade 1 race going for a purse of $350,000. This race is for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upwards. Field of 8 horses going the distance of ground of 1,700 meters, or the distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/16 on the Churchill main track, main dirt course. Top selection in this race, I like the number 3 horse, Abel Tasman. I think she should run a very big race on this race, over this race course first off the layoff. I'm going to go 3-7-2-8 in the superfecta. 3-7-2-8 super. My top selection, the number 3 horse, Abel Tasman. She's even money here, but like I said, she should just run well. 4-year-old filly by Quality Road. Bob Aver trains one. The veteran Mike Smith on this one. This horse's most recent outing came on 3rd November at Del Mar. Mile and 1/8 in the Breeze Cup Distaff. Horse finished second by a half length. Sat towards the back of the pack early on. Had a little bit of a turn of foot at the end, but it wasn't enough to win. Forever Unbridled just ran a little bit of a better race. Before that in the cotillion at Parks, mile 16th, September the 23rd. Horse finished second by 2 lengths that day. Had a wide poster, didn't break all that well, and just never got that good closing kick at the end. But before that, won the Coaching Club American Oaks at Saratoga, going a mile and 8th very easily by a head. Great turn of foot there. And then before that, in the Acorn at Belmont, 1 mile June the 10th. Horse won by a length, sat back early, but had a great turn of foot at the end. Very nice victory. And then in last year's Kentucky Oaks at Churchill on the sloppy, going a mile and 8th, May the 5th. Horse won by 1 1/4 lengths. Broke from stall number 13 of 14. Was last for most of the race up until the quarter pole, and then had a great turn of foot with a pace meltdown in front of this horse. This horse closed up well and had a great victory. Coming back here to this horse's to the surface where this horse has had her best success, I think this horse should run a very big one off the layoff. She's been training incredibly well. Watch out for this horse. A single in the multi-race for me. So to recap my bets for today's sixth race from Churchill, it's the 33rd running of the La Triomphe. Gonna go with the number 3 horse, Abel Tasman. Gonna go 3-7-2-8 in the superfecta. So now let's get on to race number 7 from Churchill. Race number 7 from Churchill. It's one of the funnest races of the afternoon. The 7th race, it's the 24th running of the Turf Sprint, presented by TwinSpires.com. This race is a grade 3 race, going for a purse of $200,000. It's for 3-year-olds and upwards. Field of 11 horses here, going the distance of ground of 1,000 meters, or the distance of ground of 5 furlongs on the Churchill turf course. This race is always a great, fun race to get your head around. And years ago, when I was in elementary school, this was always the first race when I would rush home from school on Friday, and this would be the first race I watched because it would go off around 2:30 in the afternoon. Now it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so I would usually miss it now, but not in elementary school anymore. I'm in college now, and I've off on Fridays. But this race is always a fun race. My top selection here, I like the 1 horse delegation. I'm gonna go 1-7-11-9 in the superfecta. 1-7-11-9 super. Top selection, the number 1 horse delegation, 6-1. 4-year-old filly here. Wesley Ward trains this one. John Velasquez gets the leg up. This is the horse's second start in North America. First start Lasix. Was previously trained by Andres Waller, the champion trainer from Germany, and his most recent outing came on the 7th of October. That came at Keeneland, 1 mile firm ground, the grade 1 First Lady. His horse finished 7th by 4 1/4 lengths that day. Just was at mid-pack most of the race, and just never was really there. Was a little bit ranked. It just wasn't this horse's day to win first in North America. I think coming here with a lot quicker pace, with the quicker pace, I think this horse could close up well. I think this is what the horse is going to really need. But before that, the 10th of September in Germany at Dusseldorf, yielding ground 16 meters, 1 mile in the Group 3 Grosse Europa Mile Dusseldorf, basically the Dusseldorf Mile. His horse won by 3.5 lengths that day. Sat towards the back of the pack early and had a great turn of foot at the end, getting to the victory. Very nice, easy victory, dropping down to a Group 3. Before then, the Group 1 Foulmouth Stakes at Newmarket, 1 mile, July the 14th. Horse finished 5th by 4.5 lengths that day. Didn't have the best of beginnings that day. Never really got there. Had a lot of traffic. It just wasn't this horse's day to win. Let me just get to that. The winner, Roly Poly, won next start out, who's a lot better horse than this one. And then before then, the German 1,000 Guineas Group 2 race at Dusseldorf, 1 mile, June the 18th. Horse finished 4th by 2 1/4 lengths. He never was really there. It just wasn't this horse's day to win. Going with a slow pace on the front end. Like I said, I think today with a quick pace on the front end, this horse could really close up well. And if you look at the horse's races in 2017, she was facing the toughest of the tough in Europe. She ran in the French 1,000 Guineas at Deauville, 1 mile on May the 13th. She finished 16th by 21 lengths. Again, she sat mid-pack most race, had nothing, and then before that, a very tough race in Cologne in Germany, going a mile. She won by 2 lengths. She didn't have the best of starts, but she closed up well after a quick pace in front of her. But like I said, the key with this horse is going to be a quick pace in front of her, and you're definitely going to see that. You're going to see this horse flying at the end. Watch out for her to run a big one at 6-1. So to recap my bets for today's 7th race from Churchill, it's the grade 3 turf sprint. Going to go with the 1 horse. I'm going to go 1-7-11-9 in the superfecta. So now let's get on to race number 8 from Churchill. The 8th race, it's the 15th running of the Ali Sheba, grade 2, purse $400,000. It's for 4-year-olds and upwards. Field of 8 horses, going the 1,700 meter trip, if you want to go by that, or the distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/16 on the Churchill main track. 1,700 meters, a mile 16th. Top selection in this race, I like the number 3 horse here, Always Dreaming. Gonna go 3-5-1-8 in the superfecta. 3-5-1-8 super. Top selection here, the 3 horse, Always Dreaming. 3-1. 4-year-old colt by Bodemeister. Tal Pletcher trains this one. John Velasquez gets on this one. This was your Derby winner last year. Ran in the Derby last year and won it by 2 3/4 lengths. Almost on lead all throughout. Had a very nice, easy victory that day. But since then, this horse hasn't won. Finished 8th in Preakness after setting a very quick pace early on, and then, she just hit the wall. After that, in the Jim Dandy, this horse finished 3rd by 5 1/4 lengths, set the pace, then hit the wall. And then before that, in the Travers, sat 2nd behind West Coast, and then hit the wall. And then they took this horse to the sidelines. Most recent outing came in the Gulfstream Park Mile handicap a few weeks ago, mile at Gulfstream. Horse finished 2nd by 3 lengths, sat 2nd most of the race, closed up a little bit at the end, but I think the horse needed the race. I think coming here to Churchill, where this horse had a really good success, I think this horse run a lot better. And personally, I've always thought with this horse is going to be a lot better a miler or mile of 16th horse than a 1.25 mile horse. Bodemeister to me always says a mile, and coming here to this distance today, I just think this horse will really run a big one. But before last year's Derby victory, this horse won the Florida Derby in 2017 very easily by 5 lengths, broke his main at Gulfstream very easily, and then before that won a very easily allowed main special weight at Tampa. Incredibly easy. Like I said, getting the mile, which I think this horse will really like. I think this horse could run a very big one. 3-1, watch out for him. But personally, I don't think you're going to get 3-1. I think everybody's going to see, your 2017 Derby winner running today. This horse might be getting bet into the ground at even money, I say. But hopefully not. Hopefully he gets up to 9-2. I'll be happy as a pig and shit if he does. But that happening is very, very unlikely. Like I said, I think he's going to get bet into the ground. But like I said, Bodemeister as the horse's sire, mile. This horse likes a mile. I think he's going to run a big one 2nd off the layoff. Watch out for him here today. So to recap my bets for the 8th race from Churchill, it's the 15th running of the Grade 2 Ali Sheba. Going to go with the 3 horse, Always Dreaming. Going to go 3, 5, 1, 8 in the superfecta. So now let's get on to race number 10 from Churchill. It's the 34th running of the Edgewood, presented by Forged Bank. It's a Grade 3 race here, going for a purse of $200,000. This race is for fillies, 3-year-olds. Field of 11 3-year-old fillies going the distance of ground of 1,700 meters, if you want to go by that, or the distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/16 on the Churchill turf course. My top selection in this race, I like the number 6 horse here, and Daddy is a Legend. Gonna go 6, 11, 3, 8 in the superfecta, 6, 11, 3, 8 super. Top pick number 6, Daddy is a Legend. 9-2, Irad Ortiz Jr. is on this 3-year-old filly by Scat Daddy. George Waver trains this one. This horse's most recent outing came on the 8th of April at Keeneland. Very yielding ground, 1 mile, 1,600 meters in the Grade 2 Appalachian. This horse finished 4th by 2 3/4 lengths that day. First off the layoff, I think this horse needed the race. It was the horse's first start with Lasix also. She didn't have the best of beginnings, was a little bit wide, and she just never had that quick acceleration which she needed. Like I said, first off the layoff, she definitely needed it. I think coming here, hopefully with firm ground, I think she could get a good pace to close up with on this turf course, and I think she can run well. Before that, at Del Mar, the 25th of November, my birthday, 1 mile firm ground in the Grade 3 Jimmy Durante Stakes. Horse won by length. Didn't break all that well. Had a horrible trip, but had a great turn of foot at the end, getting there to a very nice victory after all said and done. A very nice race for this horse. And then 27th of October at Keeneland, mile on the 8th, main special weight 56,000. Horse won by 2 3/4 lengths. That day, again, this horse didn't break that well. Was wide going to the turn, but had a great turn of foot at the end, just getting there by a lot. Very nice victory for this horse. I think this horse could run a very big one here today. 9-2 with a good post draw. Watch out for her. A horse I'll use on my pick 4 ticket here is going to be the 11 horse Rushing Fall. 4-5, not the best price. Javier Castellanos on the trio filly by More Than Ready. This horse has done almost everything right, basically, in her career. Today's going to be her biggest challenge, though. She is a wide poster, which she's going to have to overcome. But her most recent outing came in the Appalachian at Keeneland, a mile on the 8th of April. She won by length. She stalked early. She got the lead, and then she took off clear. It wasn't the best of races, but she won nicely. A lot of horses, I've noticed watching the replay, didn't really fire that day, but this horse, won well in the end. Before then, the Breeze Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf at Del Mar, 1 mile November 3rd. Horse won by 3/4 of a length that day. A little bit of a wide poster, was wide into the turn, and wide around the second turn also, but had a great turn of foot at the end getting there. Great victory at 3-1, and then the Jessamine at Keeneland, soft ground, mile 16th last October. Horse won by 3 1/4 lengths, was basically last going into the turn, but had a great, that was the horse's best race. She had a great turn of foot getting there and winning by a lot. Great race for this horse. I think here today at Churchill, like I said, it's going to be her biggest challenge. If she could overcome the wide poster, I think she can win. But I'm going to use her as insurance on my pick four tickets. Watch out for her also. So to recount my bets for today's 10th race from Churchill, it's the Grade 3, 34th running of the Edgewood. As a top selection, I'm going to go with the 6 horse Daddy is a Legend, and I'm also going to use the 11 horse Rushing Fall on a pick four ticket, multi race ticket. I'm going to go 6, 11, 3, 8 in the superfecta. So let's get on to race number 11 from Churchill. It's the feature race of the afternoon. It's the 144th running of the Longines Kentucky Oaks. It's a grade 1 race here, going for a purse of $1 million. This race is for 3-year-old fillies. Field of 14 horses going the distance of ground of 1,800 meters. That's for our international viewers. Or the distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/8 on the Churchill main dirt course. 1,800 meters, 9 furlongs, a mile and 1/8. Show the diagram, just gives me a second to look down in my notes. Just bear with me because I have a lot of notes for this race. My top selection in this race, I like the 5 horse Wonder Godot. I think she's going to be running a big one here today. The long stretch should really help her. Watch out for her today as a top selection. I'm going to go 5, 10, 14, 9 in the superfecta. Basically my top 4. But I'm going to talk about all 4 of those horses and a few other horses that I think might have a shot here. I think this is a wide open race this year. I think I could go probably 6 deep in this race in the pick 4 personally, because it's just it's a weird race. Like I said, I think it's going to be an upset here. I think the favorites are very beatable. But my top pick here, the 5 horse Wonder Godot, 20-1. Gary Barber owns this one. Mark Cassidy trains this one. John Velasquez gets the leg up. This 3-0 filly by Medaglia d'Oro. This horse's most recent outing came on the 13th of April at Oaklawn. Fast but sealed going, a mile and 1/16 in the grade 3 fantasy. This horse finished second by a nose, was a little bit wide, had a great turn of foot at the end. This horse just missed, but ran a decent effort. Wasn't a bad run at all. If this horse just wasn't so wide around the first turn, I think this horse could have maybe got the victory, but she ran her heart out that day. Before that, in the grade 2 Fairgrounds Oaks, at the fairgrounds, a mile and 1/16 on the 24th of March, horse finished third by 3/4 of length. Her fairground races this winter were, I don't know if she really liked the race course that day. She closed up a little bit at the end, but it took time for this horse to get going. And plus, she was very wide during those efforts, in that effort. And then before that, the Fairgrounds, mile 16th in the grade 2, Rachel Alexander. This horse finished third by 3 3/4 lengths that day. Again, was just a little bit too wide and, never really got that good closing kick. Like I said, I just don't think this horse really liked the Fairgrounds. The only good race at the Fairgrounds for this horse came at the Silver Bullet Day at mile 70 on January the 13th. Horse finished second by a neck that day, stalked early, got the lead, and then got overtaken right before the wire by Stronger Than Ever, who just had a little bit better turn of foot. But those races were just weird. Before that, her last victory came here in New York in the Demoiselle at Aqueduct, mile and 1/8, December the 2nd. Horse won by 1 3/4 lengths. Stalked early, a little wide at the second turn, but took off clear in the stretch. A very nice victory for this horse. Second start on dirt. Before that, first start on dirt in the Breeze Cup Juvenile Fillies. Wide post draw. This horse finished 6 by 5 3/4 lengths. Didn't have the best of trips that day, and, it just was too wide. This horse from the 5 hole today could save some ground. She could sit a little bit closer, which I like. There's going to be a quick pace in front of her, and I think she can run a big one. 20-1. Make sure you have her on your multi-race tickets, and also make sure you have her in a very nice win wager. I know I will. So she's my top selection here. Another horse I like a bit here is the number 10 horse. The number 10 horse, Midnight Bisou. 5-2. Mike Smith is on this one. This 3-0 filly by Midnight Loot. As we all know, Mike Smith won this race last year with Abel Tasman, who's running earlier this afternoon. But Abel Tasman had a great turn of foot last year in this race. But this horse is very versatile. It's very similar, I think, to Abel Tasman. Her most recent outing came at Santa Anita, mile and 1/16 in the grade 1 Santa Anita Oaks. This horse won by 3.5 lengths and basically was coming from last at around the far turn. Had a great turn of foot and got there. Winning by 3.5 lengths, it was a different running style instead of sitting a little bit closer. And I think that running style is good for this horse. The biggest question with this horse is today is, can she save ground? Because she's gonna be wide. If she could if she could save ground, that would be the perfect thing for this horse. But that's going to be so hard to do. Before the Santa Anita Oaks race, she ran at Santa Anita again in 1 mile and the 16th in the Grade 3 Santa Isabel. This horse won by 2 1/4 lengths. Only 4 of the rivals to her that day. The horse was just a little bit wide, but still took off clear. She faced a few quality horses, but she still won. And then before that, in the Santa Ynez at Santa Anita, 7 furlongs, January 7th, horse won by 4 1/4 lengths, or excuse me, 4.5 lengths. Stalked early, a little wide this top of the lane, but then took off clear. Very easy victory. Has 3 easy races under her belt against nobodies. Today's going to be her biggest challenge at 5-2. I think with the veteran rider up, she can get a piece of it at the end. She's second on my ticket here for my superfecta. She will be used on a pick 4 ticket also, so watch out for her. Another horse here I like for third on my superfecta, and maybe she could get a piece of it also, is the 14 horse Manomi Girl. Pardon me, I can't speak all of a sudden. I get very stressed out doing these videos. I should let you know. So usually I can't speak when I get stressed out. But Manami Girl, 2-1. Florent Giroux is on this 3-0 filly by Tapizar. This horse had a very easy race last time out in the Ashland at Keeneland. Mile 16th, April 7th. Horse won by 5.5 lengths. On lead all throughout. Just won very easily. But today she has, that's a very speed favoring race, the Ashland, or growing a mile and 16th at Keeneland. Today she's going to have the biggest challenge of her life. She's going to have a wide poster, and she's not going to get an easy lead like she did last time out, and that's going to be the biggest thing with this horse. If she could overcome, if she wins today, she might be one of the best horses in the country. But she, like I said, she's a lot of questions with this race. Before the Keeneland race, she ran the Fairgrounds, mile 16th in a Grade 2 Rachel Alexander. This horse won by 2.5 lengths that day. She didn't break all that well. She hit the gate going out of the gate, and then she was last. But she had a great turn of foot at the end, closed up well. She usually setting the pace, but that day she came from the behind, and she won nicely. And then before that here at Churchill, mile 16th in the Goldenrod, she finished second by a neck. She set the pace for most of the race, was a little bit erratic in the stretch, and I think that cost her a little bit. She just couldn't. The closer just got to this horse. It was just a weird race, that Goldenrod. And then before that, in the Rags to Riches, a mile here at Churchill, she won by 6.5 lengths, uncontested lead, very easy victory. Like I said, she's gonna have challenges on the front end today. If she can come over from the wide post draw, if she runs her A race, she's gonna win by very nicely. But like I said, she's going to have her biggest challenge today. She'll be used on a pick 4 ticket also, but she won't be getting a win wager from me. I think there's a lot better prices in this race, but on a pick 4, you want to use her for insurance. Another horse here I like here is the 9 horse Take Charge Paula. She'll be with the front runners, I think. 15-1. Jose Ortiz is on this one for Keir McLaughlin, getting blinkers on today. This horse's most recent outing in Gulfstream Park, mile 16th in Gulfstream Park Oaks. This horse finished second by 1.5 lengths that day. Had a good inside posture, but dueled a little bit early on, and then kind of weakened out of it. But then she fought on a little bit at the end. She showed some heart that day, which I like. It wasn't a bad run, but today she's gonna have to slow it down on the front end to get a good victory. Maybe if she could stalk, maybe she could win this race. But before the Devona Dale at Gulfstream Park, 1 mile, March 3rd, this horse finished second by 3 lengths. She broke on top, and then she just stalked that day. Never had a really good run at the end. It was a weird race for this horse. And then in the forward gallop, Gulfstream, 7 furlongs, February 3rd. Horse won by 3.5 lengths. Stalked early, got the lead, and then took off clear. Very nice victory for this horse. Second time going over 6 furlongs. This horse has tried going around 2 turns twice, both losses, and she's run here at Churchill in the past also. That came in the Pocahontas last year, a mile 16th last September. This horse had a disaster race, finished 10th by 21 1/4 lengths. Horrible break, had to steady a few times, never really had a good run, but that was a very bad trip. I think third time around 2 turns, second time here at Churchill. She's a much improved horse since her third start, and I think maybe if she gets the good trip and slows it down on the front end, I think at 15-1 she can maybe get a piece of it. She'll be used on my pick 4 ticket here too. Those are my top 4 in this race. A few other horses I want to talk about here. It's the number 7 horse Rhea, 12-1. Drayden Van Dyke is on this one. The 3-0 filly by Tis Wonderful. Bob Baffert trains this one. First time LASIK, first start in North America. Previously trained by Doug Watson, training in the Middle East at Meydan. Most recent outing came against the boys in the UAE Derby at Meydan, mile and 3/16, March 31st. This horse finished second by 18.5 lengths behind Mendelssohn, who put on a show that day. Mendelssohn, that night at Meydan, and most nights at Meydan, the track is very speed favoring, and Mendelssohn and Ryan Moore took advantage of that, opened up by a bunch and had a very easy victory. This horse was second best, wasn't going to catch him, earned a 78 Beyer speed figure. It was an okay race, but, coming back to face the girls today, I think this horse should run well. The biggest question, though, with her is the races what I've noticed, the horses that run in the for like the UAE 1000 Guineas and the UAE Oaks, the horses that come out of those races and run in Europe and America don't really do good first off a layoff. And personally, I think Winter Lightning, who this horse got beat by 2 starts in a row in Meydan, was a much better horse than Rhea. Winter Lightning beat this horse in the 1000 Guineas by 2 lengths very easily, and then Winter Lightning beat this horse in the Guineas Trial very easily. But then Rhea turned the tables and beat Winter Lightning in the UAE Oaks after Winter Lightning just had a disaster trip. But, like I said, these horses that come out of those 3-year-old filly races in Meydan don't really do good first start off. And, this horse is going to have a very big challenge here today because she's not going to get an easy lead like she did in Meydan. So she might be a use on the pick 4 ticket, but I'm not sure. I have to see the price on it. But that's about Rhea. Another horse I want to talk about here is the number 11 horse, My Miss Lily. She'll be used on my ticket before Rhea for sure on a pick 4. Joe Bravo's on this one for Mark Henning. This horse won the Gazelle very nicely by a half length a few weeks ago. She was a little bit wide, but she fought in the stretch and had a good victory. That was the horse's first start around 2 turns, which was nice. Before that, one turn in the Busher at Aqueduct, 1 mile March 3rd, against a little bit of a subpar group. She didn't have the best of races. She finished 3rd by 3 lengths. Didn't have the best of starts, hit the gate again going out, and just couldn't get that good closing kick. It was just not her day to win. She should have really improved off that race because it was a lesser quality race, but she didn't. But before then, the Forward Gal Grade 3 event at Gulfstream, 7th on February 3rd, she finished 3rd by 4.5 lengths. Take Charge Paula, who won that day's running back in this race. This horse was just a little bit wide and was closing up a little bit at the end, but it wasn't enough to win. Gulfstream tends to be more towards front runners. I could see this horse closing here today if she gets a good trip. Her last one around 2 turns was her best race of the lifetime, 10-1. She's been training well. Like I said, she'll be used on a pick 4 ticket before Rhea, who I just have a little bit more questions about. But like I said, this horse is coming to the race very nicely. Watch out for her a little bit also. So to recap my selections for race number 11 from Churchill, it's the feature race. It's the grade 1, 144th running in the Kentucky Oaks. My top pick is going to go to the 5 horse Wonder Godot. I'm going to go 5, 10, 14, 9 in the superfecta, basically my top 4. On a pick 4 ticket, I'm going to go all 4 deep, and I'm also probably going to use the number 11 horse, My Miss Lily, if my ticket is cheap enough on the other legs, and I'm going to possibly use Ray. I'm not sure. I'm still on the fence about that. If you want my decision on Ray, you have to follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5, but that's my selections. Top pick 5, Wonder Godot, 5, 10, 14, 9 in the superfecta. I guess my super high 5 for this race would be 5, 10, 14, 9, 11. So there we go, and remember to join me tomorrow for my Kentucky Derby preview video. I will have that up on YouTube very soon, so go check that out, and remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean it around the world. Good luck, everybody.